Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is one and only Karan Detani, and today we have a very special guest. Well, her name is Meyer Sjöblom. She's a licensed teacher and an addiction therapist. She's the founder of addaway.se. She helps people through transformative conversations online, especially women that have relationship problems. So, with honor and pleasure, let's welcome Hannah. Hi, Hannah. How are you today?
Hi, Karan. Thank you. I'm very well. I'm really happy to be here. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So good to have you here.
Hmm.
So, without any
So
further
nice
ado,
to connect from Sweden to India.
yeah,
That's
likewise.
amazing. Yeah.
So good to have you here. All right. So without any further ado, I would like to start by asking you the first question, that is, what are the three principles and how do they work in our life?
Hmm. Oh, that's a great question. I think the hardest part to explain the three principles is the thing that they are formless. So they are beyond the words, really. So I usually don't talk about them like one and one by words. I usually talk about them like how I understand them. And as you asked, like the second part of the question, how they work. So how I see it until now, I mean, I know that I can see so much more. The only doors I have been opening, I can see that in my life, thoughts are the things that I see. And with that, I don't mean that the share isn't in front of us both, but how I see that share is how I use my thought and the thing that I think. So how I see it is that we experience life through the creative force that is called thought, the principle of thought. And then consciousness is like what brings thoughts to life. So that's what makes it really feeling real to us, what we see through thought. And that we are able to even use thought and consciousness is that we have life inside of us. And life inside of us is another word for that. It is universal mind. And a lot of words have been put on that force. I mean, some say God or some say nature, but universal mind is a good word, I think. It's the life force and the power beyond everything. And I mean, if you just look at everything, it's so, not someone, but something has seen how to connect it all from the smallest part that we can see to the biggest thing. So, yeah.
Great. Yeah, this is the way I see it. The way I see them is that these principles are formless. They have no form. And if we try to describe them using our intellect, it will not be enough,
Yeah,
as it is
exactly.
something that we have to experience. So tell me about your journey. How did you discover the three principles and what change did that make in your life?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, I have done a lot of things with myself in life. I mean, I've been through a lot of therapy and 12 steps and everything, and it all made sense and it all helped me. But what was left was kind of a worrying. I had problems with worrying at times in my life, and I wasn't feeling really calm about that. And what happened was that I was supposed to start at work at a new place, and a man there, he sent me a podcast with Bill Pettit on, and he said, "Just listen to this. This was amazing." And I had it on my to listen to list, and because I was going to start to work with him, I really wanted to listen to that and see what he had heard. So I started to listen to Bill's podcast, and something just happened. I don't know what it was really, but I started to feel a lot. I both cried and felt really touched, and it also felt really true, the things that he was saying on the podcast around people and that they are whole inside. So that was the start of the journey. And then I just heard that Bill said something about the 3 principles, but he never told what it was. So I was like, okay, what are those 3 principles? So I Googled them and I found them, I think, on Michael Neal's page where he had put them in words. So I read that, but I didn't really understand it. It was like when you and me were going to talk about what is it, it's like really hard to just put in words and then in a text and on a home page. But yeah, it gave me something. And then I think I really found Sid in the page that I think was called like the foundation of the 3 principles, where Shipman has this homepage. And I contacted Shipman really, because I thought I was like alone in Sweden finding the 3 principles. So I wrote to him and said like, hello from Sweden. I found something here and I'm just so grateful. And what can I do? And he was so kind and so generous. So we had a free Zoom call with me. And I'm so grateful for that. And we talked about it a bit and he told me about his journey. And then after a while, I think I started to search for more materials around Sydney Banks, because Bill always talk about go to the source, and that's Sydney Banks. So I ordered like all the CDs, all the videos, but then I found out they were like free online, but it doesn't matter. It's like gold in my home. And then one morning, really, I don't know when that was, but I woke up and I felt normal like any other morning. And then I had this feeling, and also around, it felt like the room was more lighter. I don't know what happened really, but it felt like the room was more lighter. And I have this amazing feeling. I can't just describe it as love, but not like the romantic love. It was more. And the feeling came with like the truth of that everything is okay. I'm okay. The world is okay. Everything that happened is okay. Everything that happened with my parents and all the history and what I have done, everything is just okay. I just saw it in a glimpse. And that was so amazing. That was my first insight, I think. So I just continued looking at this in this direction around the 3 principles and just reading and listening a lot to Bill Pettit on his courses. And of course, what happened after that insight was that I got really much more calm around life. I mean, if you have a feeling around truth that everything is all right and you are all right, then life isn't threatening. And then after a while, I had this insight around thought, and that was quite simple, really, but really profound. It was around when I met this neighbor that I had. I didn't know that I had a lot of thoughts around her and her family, but what I could see was that I got a bit stiff around her when I met her. I don't know. I couldn't feel myself really calm. I just felt like, yeah, stiff. I think stiff is a good word, and I didn't really find my words and I didn't really recognize myself. And then one day when I met her, I just saw that I had a lot of thoughts around who she was, around what she worked with and what I did. And then it was like, wow, I have a lot of thoughts about her. And I also have a lot of thoughts about what she thinks about me. And then it just came to me that I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue what she's thinking about me. And I don't have a clue about her at anything. So it just fell away. So that, I mean, like a scratch on a lens or something, it just was cleaned. So what happened then wasn't just with the neighbor. it happened with every people that I don't know so much. I mean, in the elevator or whatever, I always had some problems with finding words, or what should you talk about, or things like that, and feeling a bit stiff around that, and insecure, really. Insecure was the right word. But what happened, just by seeing what thought was in that experience, it just fell away in other relationships too, to coworkers and people that I didn't know. I could just be myself more, and it was so freeing. And I think that was really the turning point of me seeing how the 3 principles can really work in my everyday life. And it's like, it's really simple but so profound. So then I think it was a really starting point of me thinking that I really want to share this, because this can make an amazing change in everyone's life if they want to. I mean, not feeling insecure with other people. What is possible then? So that was maybe the second insight, I think. And then some time went. I don't think I said when I first heard the pod, it was in January 2019. So I haven't been in this for so long. But then the third insight I had in my sofa at my home. I think I was like reading something, some three principle book or something, and I just put the book away and I just gazed out in my own living room, and I was alone in that room. I had 3 kids and a husband, but I think they were asleep or something, so I was there alone. And then I got like a vision, and I saw myself on a stage, and I saw myself as an actor. And I know that I was the actor on the stage because I had this dress on that was a little bit too big, that some actors do have because it's not their own clothes. So I really saw, okay, she's an actor. And she was like running around. So in one way, I was the observer, seeing myself on the stage. So I saw myself there on the stage running around and being really stressed and insecure. And then at one time, I just took a vase that you can have to flowers that was on a table. I just took it and I just held it like this, and I can't live without this. I just said that out into the open. And as an observer, I could just see how that wasn't true. I mean, that's not even important. And I think I saw something in that, because I had been running around in my life thinking that I needed something outside of myself. And the thing that I had thought I was going to need was love. And of course, I need that. Every person do that. But I thought I needed a relationship, and I thought I needed a man, and I thought everything. So I've been running around searching for the right person or the right relationship So I could see that with the vase. I mean, it could have been a man, like, I can't live without this relationship. And that's not true. So the observer saw that it wasn't true. And it was a bit with humor too. And that's why it was so easy to take in. And then I also, in that insight or that vision, I also saw this scene with my oldest son. He's 15 now. And we have a lot of history together. And I saw, like, outside his room, I saw him and me in his room, and outside the door, it was like a neon sign, and it stood like, and it said like, here's the scene between the mother and the son and the guilt, in like pink neon. And it was like, what is that? What's happening? Like, all the guilt is just thought in the moment that are between me and him. So that was also so amazing just to see as an observer. And then I could also see some other stages around, like, I saw that I had this manuscript as an actor. And in that manuscript, it said things about me, like, you should be afraid of authorities and things like that. And I can really relate to that. And so in one scene, I saw a boss that just went past my office and didn't say hello that morning. And I was like, oh my God, it's about me. I've done something wrong and everything. And I could just see that, my God, he's just passing or she's just passing. It's nothing about you. And it was also in the manuscript. And I've heard before, listening to people, I think even Sid talked about that this is like a theater. Life is like a theater. So I think this was shown to me in one way. And then the whole closing of this vision was that the whole stage, just the light went off. So it was like over, the show was over. And that was the most amazing thing, because when the show was over, I could go home and I could see that I wasn't the actor. So the actor could go home, and home was here. Home was here. Whatever happened, home was here. And I just cried because it felt so true and so calming. And in that insight, I say to people that I think like 80% of my worry thoughts gone away after that time. Because I think I had so much information and I was so afraid of a lot of things. And that wasn't true. That wasn't seeing truth. And I was really helped by seeing that I am something beyond what I see here in life. And that really calmed me. Yeah. So.
Wonderful. Such a great change in life that we see only just by having an insight.
Yeah, exactly.
And what do you think about like the things that we try to overcome trauma and pain? We try tapping, NLP, CBT. So what I've experienced in my life is that the more I try these things, the more I hurt myself. Because once I try something to get over a thought, like tapping, when I'm doing it, it's okay. But when I'm done, it comes back. When I realized that they're just thoughts, I have to do nothing. They're already passing. As you had the insight that life is a stage, and we are just both the director and also an actor. So it's just thoughts. And how easy it is for us to let go of our insecurities, jealousy, and all of things. Life just flows. So yeah. So what do you think about the other things that we try, like NLP, hypnosis? Do you think uh, they work, or do you think we should use them?
I think that people get guided to what to do. I really think that. So, I mean, I don't think that maybe the 3 principles are for everyone. So I'm not like out preaching about them. I think that people get attracted to their own truth and to their own guidance in life. But I think that if you are open and if you see something, if you hear some truth behind this, then I think we can help a lot of people. But I mean, if people get guided to do tapping and they feel good about it, and I just say, go for it. And my experience around therapy is that it has worked a little bit, but not the whole way. And I think this worked for me the whole way, to just see that it is thought, and to see that things that happened to me when I was small, that I thought would never leave me, like a scar or something, that I was like, it was something wrong with me, or that I was hurt, or I could never get whole again. I can just see that isn't true. I mean, that happened to me, and I had that thought in the moment, and I thought it was true then, but now it's just a memory that I'm carrying with me. And as Sid says, I mean, memory is also just a thought, and we can feel it in the now if we bring it forward, but it's not now. It's not in the now. And that's why I work with clients in the now, in the now. I mean, I don't take them back to their trauma or the story that they have with them. And I don't mean that it's not true, because it is. They have been through a lot. But often I meet them, then they have told this story so many times. And every time they tell it, they really hurt themselves. They really suffer. And of course, if someone comes to me and haven't told that they something around their history, and they feel like this is really important for me to tell someone, then of course I'm listening. But I don't take them down or back to their history, to their memories of the history. That's not how I work. And I can imagine you are not doing that either. And I think that in the now, as you say, then we can see the thoughts that we have, and they come because we have them stored. So if we see and hear the truth around thoughts, that it's how we experience life through thought, then a lot of fear just fall away. That's the only thing I can say about it. So the thing about the understanding of the three principles is that you see and hear new things, and that some untruths fall away, and then you see life more clearly, and not with the old thoughts with you. So, and why I think some therapies work is because you feel seen and heard, and often the therapist has a lot of love for their clients. And I mean, that I have too, of course. And I can sometimes say that we sit in the love that we are, the thing that are the force behind everything. And I think that other therapists also do that. And that's why that can help a bit. But also seeing how the experience creates our lives in the now, that's the most amazing truth I have ever seen. And that helps me in my daily life. And often, I mean, I can get seduced by my thoughts. I do, like every day, get seduced by my thoughts, but not in the way I did like years ago. I mean, I have been depressed, and really, I don't think that I could think myself down in a depression again. And I didn't see that I did that, of course. And people that are depressed, I don't say, oh, it's just thought. I mean, it's more than that, but it's like, if we know that we have our experience through thought, then we also know that we can have a new experience. And it's not from the outside, it's from the inside. It's from us. So we are the power in one way, with help from the power that are bigger than us, but we are a part of that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Exactly. And that's the way I see it. With the therapies and the methods, the techniques, I really believe that they do work and people do get results. But ultimately, we have to understand that this is how can I say that? This is an illusion of thought. An illusion of thought. And to have a better life, we have to make a change. And the change is not in the old thought, it is in the new thought. Just like water. If I have dirty water in this bottle, first of all, I have to get rid of the old water. Only then I will have a space for the new water. So when we let go of our thoughts without trying to fix them, analyze them, change them, or turn them into positive, we just let them go. And in that moment of silence, what comes is new thoughts, new ideas, new insights. And that's what makes the difference. Beautiful. Okay, I would like to ask you our next question. That is, you especially work with women, right? You help them with their relationship issues. So, yeah, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, how can women have happier and better relationships with the understanding of the three principles?
Yes. Well, it's a little bit around my own journey, of course, because I had relationship problems before, a lot. And the thing is that to see a little bit more about what you are, a little bit like the big insight that I had, but just to get a glimpse of that you are more than just this person, just this flesh or this brain or whatever, that makes you really calm, I think. And I think that people really know this. I mean, it's not me like having this truth. It's like the truth is in everyone. So if you just point them a little bit, like, what are you, and things like that, and then they see a glimpse of what they are, what is true about them. Like for myself, I mean, when I didn't see myself as hurt or as bad in any way, then it's much easier to find another person, because what I could see was that when I thought that I was damaged, I met or found relationships and partners that also had problems in them, and that it was more like a drama. I mean, my old thoughts created drama, and the other person's old thoughts created also the drama. So we were like playing drama together, but in different dramas. I can't say that in any other better way, but we didn't meet. So it was not clear water between us partners. Yeah, it was muddy, like you said about the bottle. It was something, and then we didn't hear and we didn't see each other. So when I see a little bit more about that, my history and my problems in my family, that all families have problems, I mean, but it's often that the child thinks that it's around them and it's something wrong with them, and they carry that with them, like a thought and a memory. But when you see that that's not true, I mean, people act from the level of consciousness that they are at, with those thoughts that you can connect with at that level. When you can see that, then you see that your parents did the best thing they could at that moment and the next moment. And that's true for both you and me also. So I think that what happened was that when I cleared my lenses a little bit about myself, then I could see more clearly, and I could find maybe a partner that also had a little bit more less scratches on his lenses also, and that was easier for me to see more about myself and the world then. Otherwise, I always thought that I don't know, that I had to stay in every relationship that I had because I couldn't be alone, really, because something was wrong with me, so I should be happy being in a relationship. And that's not true. I mean, I truly know that I could be alone and live alone for the rest of my life and be happy. And I haven't thought about that at all before. That was the most caring thought ever. And I don't want to, but that's another thing. So what I do is I point in this direction. I talk about what experience is and what thought is, and usually people see quite fast how their experience are created in one way or the other, because the insights are different. I mean, I don't think that my clients will get my type of insights, because they need to get their insights that are true for them, and that so they see clearer. So they also come in like personal ways, the insights. And when they see something around thought or something around themselves, then the whole system calms down, and you see another world, and you see other people that you haven't seen before. And yeah, everything is possible. And also just the calm, I mean, the peace of mind. I think everyone is searching for the peace of mind, and a lot of women that I meet are searching for, they think that in the right relationship they will get peace of mind, or if they just get the love that they need so much, they will get peace of mind. And everything is inside. Yeah, we're carrying it with us. It was so close, but it felt so far. Yeah.
Yeah, that is our true nature. We are peace. We are happiness.
Yes, we
We are
are.
abundance. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
this is what people do. Uh, the more they think that they can't attract love or they don't deserve love, they attract the same thing. And if they just let go of those thoughts, things change, they attract better things.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, all right. And uh, these days I see that especially girls, when they go through a breakup, they completely feel broken. They think that they have lost their life. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you like to give to those?
Yeah. Well, it's always when I sit with a client, it's always personal advice, of course, what comes to me in the moment. But what I can see about breakups, or what I've been seeing the latest, is that, well, if what I saw before was that the love that I felt in a relationship was coming from the other person. And that's why I was depending on the other person, or to have a relationship, to have that love, or to have that peace of mind, or to have a good life. But when I saw or felt the truth about that, if we have the experience through thought, and it's an inside out experience, life is lived from the inside and out, not from the outside in. And that's really new. And I mean, it's not new. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about this, but it's new. I think that therapists are talking about it. I haven't heard that before. And what I mean is that if it's inside out, then the love that I feel is, as you said, something about me, something about that we are that love. And then I can experience that love that I had with that relationship again, because sometimes we connected so much with a person that we think that I can never feel like this again. It was about that person. I have to get him or her back because I can't live without that love. But it's not from them, it's from us. So it's kind of, I mean, it's personal love that you feel, but it's connected to something bigger, of course. But I mean, it's personal for you. So if you know that the love you feel when you are in a relationship is from you, then you know that you can find it in another relationship. It's not about that person. And as I said, I mean, it's not even about the relationship either. I mean, it's really about the relationship to yourself and to see more of what you are. Yeah. And also, don't be afraid of the feelings. I mean, you have a lot of feelings and sorrow when something is over or someone dies, and it's also natural. I mean, you have sad thoughts and you have sad feelings, and it's okay. Just don't be afraid about your experience. I think Sid said something about that. If only people weren't afraid of their experiences. And I just love that sentence. Yeah.
Would you talk more about, as you said, that love to yourself? So, is it about like doing affirmations or what? Because what I see is that people just try affirmations, they read books, they gain knowledge, but it works. It does work, but I think it's a very hard process.
What do you mean? The love for yourself, or?
Yeah. The self
Yeah.
love, yeah,
Mm.
and the relationship to yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think that I had it through the insight about what we are. I mean, when I had that insight about the theater, when coming home was really about the feeling that I came home to something that was beyond my body and beyond my brain and beyond this world, really. So it was more like a feeling of being spirit, or being a soul, or whatever other word you can put on that. So, and that feeling is connected to love, because you get so calm and you get peace of mind, and you really feel like love from the inside out when you have a glimpse of what you are, and you see that you're not damaged. I think that's the most important thing, because people go around and think that there are something wrong with them, and from maybe they were born or anything. But I mean, look at a baby. I mean, they are just love, and they are just consciousness, and they are in the now. And we have all been babies. So sometimes I talk about clients and patients about that. I mean, around addiction or whatever, that addiction around relationships that I talk about. And I mean, if you look at a baby, they aren't addicted. So and you are also that baby. So we can go back to that state. It's just thought patterns. Yeah.
And this is why we feel so good when we are around the babies.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, sometimes you see a person that look really closed, and then they just look at a baby and they are amazed and they just lit up. Yeah.
Because they're present to the moment. All right. So it's not about using affirmations, right? I mean, yeah,
No,
it could be,
it
but
hasn't
it doesn't
worked
have
for
to be.
me.
Yeah, same here. Me neither.
It hasn't worked for me.
Yeah. I mean, it works, but it's a long process. And digesting those thoughts again and again. I mean, this journey never ends.
No.
We need to
And
relax.
what I think about affirmations, though, is that, as you say, I mean, as I say I love myself to myself in the mirror, I feel better. But it's also, for me, it's more about that you talked about that too, that you have negative thoughts and then you put in positive thoughts, and it's like a lot of thoughts. So if I have negative affirmations about myself in my thinking, and then I say out loud the positive affirmation, then I have, it's maybe like plus minus null or something, but I mean, it's like it's not serenity, it's not peace, it's not
Conflict.
So so, and that's an interesting question, because what I think is the problem is that we wake up every morning and we look ourselves in the mirror and we tell ourselves a story about ourselves, and then we're a little bit stuck in that. So I love the question, what story are you telling yourself, right? What story are you telling yourself? That's amazing. I can just, that question just gives me a lot, like every day, if I remember to ask myself, because I mean, we are really new every time, every moment we are new, but we have a lot of stories with us, and the insights and this understanding, we see that we have a lot of stories, and through the insights we can also let go of a lot of stories. And when we let go of what's not true, then we feel more love, because that's that's what we are, really.
We are love. We are that.
And that is what we feel when we really connect to another person, just like being a therapist or just you and me talking. I mean, you feel that connection, and that connection is love, and it's not romantic love, but you can sometimes think it is. I think I did that sometimes ago. I think that I saw another person, and then I saw the love they had. I saw beyond their patterns and everything, and I thought that was romantic love, but that was just love, sharing love. So I really was confused about that in my life, I think. So sometimes my relationships was to people because I could see that they were love behind the patterns, but it wasn't the person that I was supposed to live with. But now in my work, I mean, I work with seeing the love underneath or beyond, but it's not the romantic love. It's just sharing the moment and being present, and then the love is just there
in the moment.
In the moment, yeah.
Beautiful. All right, so that takes us to our last question, that is, how can women have authentic conversation with their partner?
A great question. Yeah, I think it's like when I talk to a client, I try to be in as good a state of mind as I can. And that means for me to be in the now, to be in the moment, and just be as clear as I can from my old thoughts and rules and stories and everything. And I think that is the key to talk to a partner too. I don't say that I'm an expert at that, and you can ask my husband, but I mean, but I think that is the key, really, to be able to see sometimes that what you see in your partner, what you hear them say, is your own thoughts about what you think they say. It's not what they say. You can't hear them because it's not clear between you. This weekend, I was listening to Bill Pettit and Linda Pettit, and they were talking about relationships. So I can only say what I heard. So I don't say that this was what they said, because maybe I didn't understand it fully. But what I understood, they were talking about separate realities that Sid talks about, that we live in separate realities out of how we think about the world and our lenses and everything. And they explained it like they made two circles like this. The one circle was the man and the woman, or the woman and the woman. It was a relationship. Okay. And they thought, what I heard was that after a while, then their circles would be more together because they had like same reality. But that wasn't true. We still live in separate realities. And what is between is just like a channel or a pipeline is between. So now back to the water again, that when we are in a good state of mind, the water or the things going through the pipeline is clear. So we can see and hear each other. But when someone in the relationship or both are in lower state of mind, then the water is muddy. So that's why we can't hear and see each other. So, and that's, I mean, I think that is true for every relationship, not only romantic relationship. So if you can take responsibility for your own state of mind, or just be like open to see that sometimes you have like days when you are in a lower state of mind, and don't beat yourself up about that, because then you go even lower to the basement. And then just be really careful for what you say when you are in lower state of mind, and just be gentle with yourself and others. I think that's a good suggestion. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And also know that the reset button takes us up stages in our consciousness, and then our mood gets better. So it's good to know that when I'm in a low mood, don't talk so much, don't think so much, and don't believe your thoughts. And then when you're in better mood, maybe then it's a good time to talk with your partner about things that you see. And yeah.
It's like being on an elevator. If you're on the first floor, you can't see much. The higher you go, the more you can see.
Yeah, exactly.
So, beautiful.
I sometimes talk about the mental elevator.
Okay.
And that you can go up and down in a day and in a minute sometimes. Yeah, that's a great explanation, I think.
Wonderful. All right, it's been a great time, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So those of us who would like to follow you, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on addaway.se, of course, the homepage. And they can email me on info@addaway.se. And I'm also on Facebook on Addaway. So I think they can find me there.
All right, so I will leave the details below so people can find you and follow you. And those of the people who would like to connect with you, they can just contact you on your email address and Facebook. All right, any last words before we leave?
Just a lot of love to you, and I would hope to hear you be interviewed someday also. That would be great to hear your stories. I can hear that you have seen and heard a lot, and I can feel the feeling. So great, just great to see you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I can sense the love.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.